All right, guys. So today I'm going to be using my FPS terminal. All right, I'm going to be using my FPS terminal for analysis. And as many of you may already know, all right, I'm currently an analyst with FPS, all right, for FPS. And as such, it's a culture that I would love to, introduce you guys to. All right, trading with FPS is fantastic, and you can also try that out. All right, so having said that, some weeks ago, I dropped some couple of analysis on the FPS website, all right, where I was talking about the bias for AUD and ZD. But nonetheless, we're going to do the regular analysis the way it's been done. All right, but the only difference is that we're not going to be looking at so many of the indices. All right, we're just going to cut to the chase and focus more on the currency pairs specifically. All right, and first of all, let me quickly say this. All right, the markets are going to be interesting this week, and the reason why they're going to be interesting is because last week the dollar closed on a very interesting note. All right, gave us some amazing volatility before the close of the week. So we're going to start with the dollar index, the DXY, and then we're going to spread our analysis down into several other commodities. All right. So if you have a commodity in mind that you would like us to take a look at together, please do well to drop that in the comment section or in the chat box right about now, and we're going to get into it all together. All right, beautiful. So let's start with the dollar index. All right, and we're going to come to all of the majors shortly. All right. So this is the US dollar, and a couple of you guys might have missed my live stream with FBS on Friday. All right. On Friday, we had this specific setup play out. All right. On Friday, I was given this bias, and the dollar was going to be weaker. All right. And it was going to sell all the way probably down to this point. All right. Where we can see that there's a confluence of the trend line as well as the other block on the daily time frame, all right? The other block on the daily time frame. So you can all see that that drop is currently playing out. I expect liquidity to be taken out from here, which means that for dollar, we're going to see some tiny bit of continued weakness, all right, until the dollar finds its footing at this other block, all right, and most likely shoots all the way back to the top, all right, maybe into this particular other block at the top over here. All right. So having said that, okay, if we're expecting the dollar to be weaker, then we're going to juxtapose that with a couple of other commodities, okay, and then evaluate what the likelihood is at the moment. Okay, so remember I said that the dollar is going to be weaker for some time. All right. On Friday also during the live stream, I gave this buy setup on EURUSD. Played out for about 200 pips, all right, and this was actually done live. You can still find the recording on the FBS Analysis and Education portal, the YouTube channel, all right. You find this live analysis all over there, all right. So if we're expecting the dollar to be weaker, all right, it means that we're looking for an order block supply where we can sell EURUSD from comfortably. Okay, so let us quickly look at that together. Let's start from the daily time frame. I'm going to have to delete a couple of these guys over here, all right? So this is the daily time frame. We can see that this was a point where price came back to retest this other block. All right, let me do the breakdown of the market structure. Retested this other block. All right, and then we got this drop. Okay, so let's go to the 4 hours time frame and see what this looks like. So on the 4 hours, we've seen that this other block has been tested, which leaves us with the option of price coming into this area. All right. So what are we expecting from the from EURUSD for this week? Remember, temporary weakness in the dollar, which is going to give us a buy to sell kind of setup. Okay, and that means that we're basically looking at price coming this high, all right, and then continuing with the drop, all right, most likely to this point, so that the liquidity from these equal lows can be taken out, all right, can be taken out here, all right, and then into this other block, and then we can continue all the way back if that is the way the market still wants to continue. All right, so EURUSD is a classic buy to sell, all right, and some of the other confirmations that you may want to consider for that trade, all right, is the fact that there's also this long-term trend line at this point, okay, and at the same time, if we look at the overall trend over here, all right, you see that that is somewhere within the 88.2 level. Okay, so that just increases the chances of that other block playing out the way we anticipate that it will. All right, so our entry point for EURUSD is somewhere around here. All right, somewhere around here, which would be 1.00655. All right, 1.00655 is one of the likely areas where we can begin to expect the dollar to the EURUSD to resume the sell trend. As you can see, the overall trend on the daily is still very bearish. Okay, so that's part one. All right, so you can see that price is trading within this wedge. All right, so we'll see how price reacts from this block at the top here. So that's for EURUSD. Up next, we're going to look at GBPUSD. All right, and if you're here, you have a commodity you'd like us to review as well, please do well to drop that also in the comment section, and it will be treated accordingly. All right, the next one is GBPUSD. All right, I'm going to have to look for this. I'm sure it's somewhere around here. All right, this is it. So this is GBPUSD on the 4 hours time frame. All right. On Friday, I was expecting that it would come into either of these two other blocks before the buy. All right, but it ended up reacting from this trend line and kept buying. Okay. And like I said, the dollar is supposed to get weaker, just a little bit. Okay. It's supposed to get weaker just a little bit, so that we can resume this overall downtrend. Why did I say that the overall downtrend has a large or a high probability of continuing? We can see that we've just broken structure lower at this point, all right, which means that there's a likelihood that whatever movement price is making right about now is simply to find a supply zone that it can continue reacting lower from. All right, so we're looking at possibly either this area, all right, or yes, this. Okay, so let's look at it on the 4 hours time frame, and then. So yeah, what we're saying is that there's a likelihood that price comes bullish into this other block. All right, we can see that there's a bit of an imbalance right over here. All right, it's a little bit, but it still counts. All right, there's an imbalance over here. The other block is right over here. So what we can expect is that price goes something along these lines, all right, possibly to actually now come into either this other block, all right, or the lower one right over here. Okay, so that's the expectation from GBPUSD. All right, it's a classic buy to sell as well. Looking at the fact that the dollar has already shown us possibilities of a temporary weakness, all right, of a minor weakness, then followed by a continuation of the trend. So yes, this would be a possible liquidity grab area, all right, and then price comes into the other block, and then we see that drop. Okay, on the monthly time frame, yes, I think it was on the monthly time frame. This is the overall picture, all right, but you can see that this week does not tell a good enough story. Okay, so I'm naturally expecting price to come back somewhere into this week, all right, and react. Because if you check week reaction, price went up, came back into the week before the clear move. Same thing, week reaction, price went up, came back into the week before giving a clear move. So here, I'm expecting the same thing to play out, all right, price comes into, you can see we've already created the week. So I expect price to come back into this week before it gives us the clear indication for the buy on the monthly time frame. Now, another thing that you must take note of is these are the final months. We're currently in the final months of the year, which means that you can begin to expect a whole lot of unprecedented volatility in the markets. All right. In other words, the markets are really going to be moving mad. Okay. And the best way to safeguard your own account is to ensure that you only trade trends that are very clear from the higher time frames. All right. If it is not clear from the higher time frames, you may want to exercise a bit of patience. All right, to allow it become clearer on the higher time frame before you move into that bias. All right, and another confirmation we might want to consider for this GU sell, all right, from that other block would be this trend line, all right, and the Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so we can see we have 76.4, we have 88.2. So either of those levels would give us the possible continuation of that sell entry for GBPUSD. Okay, if you still have a commodity, you can drop it in the chat box, right? And I am going to analyze that commodity for you right here, right now. Up next, we're going to talk about gold. All right, and as you can see, this was on Friday, all right? This was on Friday. I was expecting that the sell would resume from this trend line, but apparently it is kind of, it seems to be approaching or targeting this other block. All right, that's what it seems to be approaching. For those of you who did not attend the live stream, right, you can easily get access to it on the FBS Analysis and Education channel. All right, it's a free YouTube channel. You can literally see my live stream and whatever other analysis that I have done on that platform. Okay, so right here is the other block that I'm watching out for. Okay, there's a huge likelihood that price reacts from either this other block, all right, or we fill up that imbalance and use this other block instead. All right, use this other block instead. So this is also a huge likelihood. All right, there's a huge likelihood that this plays out. And another confirmation or another confluence that we can use to ascertain whether or not that is a real setup is looking at this scenario here. All right, looking at this scenario here, we can literally expect the trend line liquidity to be taken out. All right, price comes into the other block. All right, comes to the 100 moving average, and then we get that reaction from inside of this other block on gold. All right, so for gold, I think we're looking at an entry somewhere around 1712. All right, or let me say, yeah, 1712 or somewhere around 1710. All right, 1710, 1712 is one of the areas that you will be looking out for right about now. Okay, so that's for gold. The request is CAD CHF. Someone just requested CAD CHF. Now I must confess that CAD CHF has plagued me a little bit. All right, and the reason was because I was judging based on just what I was seeing on the daily time frame. All right, and I didn't really come over to the higher time frames. Sorry, let me quickly do this. Okay, so I didn't really look at what was happening on the weekly. I just looked at the daily, and that was it for me. However, on the weekly time frame, I saw that the likelihood that price comes to this other block, all right, or from the daily time frame, there's a likelihood that the price uses this entire region as the other block. All right, so what does this mean? If you go to the 4 hours time frame, I think this should be a little bit clearer. All right, on the 4 hours time frame, I'm literally expecting, or I can say I've seen liquidity taken out here already. All right, so liquidity has been grabbed here. Okay, and what I'm simply waiting for now is that price comes into, say for example, somewhere around here. All right, price comes into somewhere around here, and then that reaction carries us all the way into possibly new lows. All right, because as you can see, this was the previous break of structure over here. All right, and right about now, if price does what I'm anticipating that it does, all right, if price gets into that other block before dropping, then it would mean that we can literally target these lows, all right, somewhere around here. All right, or let's say just to play it safe, all right, we can target somewhere around this region, which would mean that we're targeting something about, yes, that's about 300 pips. All right, if this plays out, that's about 300 pips that we're looking at. All right, but also it's important that you understand that there's also a likelihood that price decides to do its thing from here. But the reason why I doubt that that's going to happen is because if you look at this reaction, you see that it is just a solid week, all right, which means that price is going to try its best to recover as much of this week as possible, all right, before the main move begins, all right. And at the same time, there's a kind of wedge that is also going on right here. Or let me say there's a kind of channel that is also happening at the moment, all right. You can literally see it this way. All right, yeah, it's a wedge. Okay, so there's a likelihood that price maybe comes this low, all right, comes this low, then reacts from the bottom of this channel and bounces all the way up here before we get to that drop. So it's a sell, buy, sell kind of sell. Okay. So we can get that sell, the buy, and then the sell. So I want to believe that the person that asked that question has gotten clarity on what my bias on CAD CHF is right now. Is it clear? All right, beautiful. Thank you. So that's CAD CHF. All right. So what other commodities should we look at? EURUSD. Am I sure I have USDCAD on my chart here? No. All right, so let's do EURUSD. Okay, I think I'm seeing this on the daily time frame. That's provided that the 4 hours time frame doesn't actually give us a reaction from, let me see, that other block has already been tested. That leaves us with this, which has also been tested. So what's going to happen is if this doesn't just drop all the way, all right, the next thing I would like to say to you is run, no, all right, because there's a huge possibility that price decides to shoot back up, all right, shoot back up and gradually keep coming higher until it's able to test this other block, all right, and then provide you with a much clearer setup. Okay, and another thing that that serves as a reason why I am doubting a reaction from there is that this is an equal low kind of liquidity grab area, equal highs liquidity, all right, which as we can see has currently been taken out, all right. So that leaves us with the option of price coming into this high probability of the block coupled with the 200 moving average, all right, and the possibility of a divergence, all right, from these two highs, all right, and that will take us all the way down, okay, possibly to somewhere around this area, all right, somewhere around this area, so that price can come and fill up this imbalance over here, okay. So that is my bias on USDCAD. It could take some time to play out, right? But if you're really going to be patient with this, you're definitely going to eat some pips from off of this setup. Okay, so EURUSD, I think my expectation is that we maintain some bullish momentum even if the bullish momentum does not happen right away, all right, I think that this is a point where it's most likely going to happen. All right, price drops this way and then shoots all the way back up. All right, so drops to the 200 moving average on the 4 hours time frame. All right, so that it can go and test the 200 moving average on the daily time frame, and then we can resume the downtrend. All right, so is that clear, please? For the person that asked about EURUSD, is that clear? Who else has a commodity they would like us to take a look at? All right, US30 and NASDAQ. Unfortunately, I don't have US30 here. I'm not sure I do on my MetaTrader account. All right, let me see. I'm really not sure that I have USDCAD. I really am not tracking that. No, I do not have it. I do not have USDCAD. So what we're going to do is, during the week, actually, for those who are in the VIP, you really don't have to stress yourself, because during the week, we're going to be having about 2 to 3 live sessions where we're going to run the analysis together. We're going to be taking the trades together, all right? You see my entry, you see my stop loss, you see my take profit, all right? And we'll be taking those trades all together, all right? So those who are in the VIP groups or those who have already subscribed for the signals, just relax, all right? I'm going to take good care of you guys this week. I know I've been a bit busy, all right, but I'm back, and I assure you that we're going to have a very smooth ride from now henceforth. All right, so let's go to GBPJPY, all right, as requested, GBPJPY. All right, so this is GBPJPY. Let me quickly do this. Okay, so this is GBPJPY. It's an interesting setup on the 1 hour time frame, all right, but it could also be a trap. All right, I can see that this is looking like a sweet order block to take a trade from. All right, however, if there is no divergence of the eyes at this point, then please avoid it. We can also see that there's equal lows over here, which means that price is definitely planning to come lower. All right, but let's see daily time frame. All right, that's cool. Daily time frame. Possibility of price trying to come higher a bit, right, before we continue. But let's see 4 hours as well. All right, so this is the 4 hours time frame. Okay, interesting. Equal lows liquidity also here. All right, which just means that GBPJPY has a lot of reasons to want to keep going lower. All right, but nonetheless, I think that we've created imbalances that need to be filled. All right, so there's a possibility that price comes all the way up here to fill up this imbalance. All right, take out this equal highs liquidity. All right, take out this equal highs liquidity such that price does this and then this. Okay, and another reason why I'm going to be recommending that as my own bias, all right, is because when I look at what this is doing at the moment, all right, it just reminds me of Wyckoff schematics, all right. So there's a huge likelihood that this keeps going higher. Okay, so let's see how this plays out during the week. It's actually looking quite high probability as far as I'm concerned. All right, but we all know that the markets this period are going to be extremely volatile, so you want to trade with caution. Let me just check once more 1 hour time frame. What's this looking like? All right, so that means that there's a high chance that this other block becomes that point where we get our reaction. Okay, so we're going to keep our eyes peeled for that other block, all right, on the 1 hour, 4 hours daily time frame, and watch how price reacts to that other block. All right. So, Mr. Roderick, is that clear? But nonetheless, as a student and a member of the VIP, just know that these are some of the setups that we're going to be feeding on throughout the week. All right. That we're going to be feeding on heavily throughout the week. All right. So, the next one, EURUJPY. I'm not sure I have EURUJPY open, but I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay, so let's see daily time frame first of all, EURUJPY. Interesting break of structure. Equal lows created, all right, which means that there's quite some reason for price to want to come lower to take out that liquidity. 4 hours time frame, let's see that quickly. Okay, yeah, this is the 4 hours time frame. Let's see. This is our imbalance. Not really. I think that didn't play out as an imbalance. Let's check 1 hour. Okay, so this is the 1 hour time frame. This looks interesting. Yeah, it looks interesting, but I think I want to. I'd rather work with this. All right, I'd rather work with something around this point. All right, either this other block or let me say this entire thing. All right, that entire region. Why? Because here you can see that there's been this imbalance created already. Forex Empire, you came a little bit late. We usually treat the majors first. All right, so to catch up with the analysis on the majors, GBP, USD, and all the other commodities we've already talked about, just simply go to the YouTube channel, EasyFX Academy, and you'll find the analysis all laid out there. All right. So yeah, I think this would be much more preferable. So somewhere around 146.3, all right, 146.3, 146.4 is the target area. All right, the price gets somewhere around there, 146.37 thereabouts. All right, price gets there, and then we can see that drop. Okay, I think it's still going down, and I just kind of think that. That seems the most logical thing to do. All right, so we could see price dance a bit around here into the 200 moving average. Don't get deceived. Let it come into this other block or possibly create a divergence. All right, and then you can ride that divergence all the way down. This is expected to provide at least a minimum of 150 pips minimum. All right, 150 pips minimum. And if you time your entry right, on this setup, you can easily catch at least a 1:10 on this trade. All right, but I'm not going to be showing that on this call because this is a general call. All right, but for those in the VIP group, we're going to be treating all of these things like our newborn babies, and we're going to dissect all that the market has for us this week. All right, so the next one we're going to be talking about is AUDUSD. All right, let's look at AUDUSD quickly. So like I said, my analysis on Friday was quite top-notch. All right, this move was actually a product of the analysis on Friday. All right, about 200 pips move. All right, so those of you who have not been following up on my activities on the FBS website or on the FBS YouTube channel, all right, you're actually missing out on a whole lot. But nonetheless, I think that AUDUSD, remember we said that the dollar could continue to act weak for a little more while, all right, for a short while, before we get to see the actual drop. Okay, so let me see the daily time frame, what it's looking like. All right, that's cool. That's real cool. So 4 hours time frame, I think that we might get to see this. All right, this is the most high probability opinion that I have of AUD USD right now. All right, so that it comes into this other block, all right, and then we can start to check whether or not price has what it takes to keep going higher. Whether or not price has what it takes to keep going higher. And another reason why this looks to me like a high probability kind of thing, all right, is the fact that also this trend line, you can see that it's like price is trapped inside of this range, all right, inside of this range. So I expect that price gets here, the trend line, the other block, the 200 MA, all right, and then we can see that major drop. All right, or sorry, the 50 moving average on the daily time frame. So that is my analysis on AUD USD. All right, who else? You can drop any setup you would like us to take a look at in the chat box right about now, and we will deal with that instantly. All right, what does the setup do you want me to take a look at? Please drop it in the chat box. All right, USD CAD. All right. USD CAD, I think one of my students taught USD CAD. It was almost about 1:30 on USD CAD. All right, it's one of my staff per se. All right, it was once a student, but it was the one that handled last week's analysis session, and I'm sure that the USD CAD was mentioned during the session. But he was able to take the entries based on the things that I've been showing them. He took the entry from the 3 minutes time frame and ended up with about 1:30 risk to reward. I ended up with about 1:30 risk to reward. So this was the setup. All right, this was the setup. This was the setup. Price came into this other block, all right, after taking out liquidity and did a nosedive. All right, that was a 300 pips nosedive, all right, which was a massive. So remember, we talked about the fact that dollar could continue to act temporary, the temporary weakness on the dollar could continue, all right, just long enough for the dollar to regain stability from that other block that I showed you guys on when we were looking at the dollar index. All right, so I think that for me, this is a zone that I don't want to joke with. All right, based on the fact that yes, we've taken out liquidity over here. All right, equal lows liquidity taken out. All right, and I'm not sure that this other block is going to play that part that we need it to play at the moment. So the most logical other block happens to be either inside of this zone, all right, or right over here, all right, inside of this other block. So that's my expectation on USD CAD, all right, and I think I have, could you check that? Yes, I have this also serving as an additional confluence. All right, so we're just going to see how this plays out during the week. All right, I am naturally trusting that this will be one of the money bags for me this week. Okay, so price comes lower this way. All right, takes out liquidity already, it's taken out a bit. All right, comes this way, and then we can see a resumption of the dollar strength. All right, maybe this way. Okay. So USD CAD, is that clear? Forex Empire. Okay, BTCUSD. If you've been following my analysis every single week so far, all right, to say that you have not made money from my analysis would be to be lying blatantly. All right, if you followed my setups, my analysis for the last maybe 50-something weeks, all right, or 40-something weeks, to say that you have not made some real good money, all right, whether it's for your live account or demo account, that's at your own discretion. But the setups have played out massively, all right, massively. This was a buy slip now that I gave on BTCUSD several weeks ago. As you can see, this was as far back as October 21st. All right, and I talked about the fact that price was going to break out, all right, come down a little bit and then break out higher. All right, but remember, we're talking about the dollar still maintaining some temporary weakness, which means that we could see BTCUSD come either to this point on the daily, which is or let me make this a bit wider. We can break that down later on the lower time frames. Okay, this point. All right, which is where we will get this imbalances filled up. Okay, so BTCUSD is most likely going to be a sell, tiny sell to buy, a little bit longer buy, then to sell. All right, and I said to sell, not to shell. All right, because some Chelsea fans might be hearing things in their ears right now. But I think Tuchel is no longer their coach. I can't even follow. But apologies to all Chelsea fans. It was good to, celebrate your defeats today. It's a good one. It's a good one. Yoruba people will say, so it's a good one. So this is the other block. This is the other block that I'm looking at the moment. All right. So so once this equal lows gets taken out, all right, once the liquidity from here gets trapped out, all right, the next thing would be that price comes into this other block, all right, this other block over here, and then we can resume the overall trend, which seems to be gradually turning bullish already. All right, it seems to be turning bullish gradually already. BTCUSD, is that clear? Please let me know if that's clear. All right, I'm going to take one last analysis, all right, just one last one. So if you haven't set up, you'd like us to take a look at together, just drop it, just one last one before we log out for tonight. The markets are open already, so you can literally begin to see all of these setups play out from, say, one or 2 hours. All right, so what's the last analysis you guys would like us to take a look at? What's the last setup? Guys, just give me the setup you are looking at currently, all right, and then we'll take a look at it together, and we can all share the grace. And by sharing the grace, I'm not talking about your grace. I'm talking about sharing the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. Because somebody's already scared. Why would they be sharing my girlfriend? No, we're not talking about your grace. All right, EURUSD. Do I have EURUSD open on the chart? Yes, I do. All right, daily time frame, interesting. Skittles, US 500, that would be, that would not be tonight because the account I'm using on my MetaTrader right now does not have US 500. Sorry. And I think it's a little bit deliberate because I want to reserve some of my high probability setups or some of my volatile setups for the VIP members who I can beat my chest that they will be able to interpret their entries appropriately because I have taught them how to do that. All right. So apologies, but sorry, no apologies really. But I think for EURUSD, all right. All right, thanks, Kitos. But maybe if the Lord touches the heart of any of my analysts, they might end up dropping a setup on US 500 during the week. You know, those ones, they have more time than me. So, EURUSD. This was a break of structure. All right, break of structure. I'm And then we saw this break of structure. So basically, I think that what price might be trying to do, could be either to react from this area, which I so much doubt, but if that doesn't happen, then this would be the closest thing to it. That would be the closest thing to it, not most closest. Sorry. So we'll see liquidity taken out here. Price shoots back up. So that the drop can be a lot cleaner. Okay, as you can see, equal lows here, most likely going to get trapped, and then price is going to come into this other block, most likely, because you can see that the overall trend is still bearish. And in fact, this high that you're seeing was just a reaction from here based on this break of structure. So this break of structure was what price came back to mitigate here to give us this, and now we've seen structure broken to the downside again. So price would most likely do this and then give us maybe about 300 pips thereabout. Yeah, close to 300 pips. So you can literally just watch out for that during the week on EURUSD. So are we good, everybody? Are we good? I don't believe that everyone's request has been treated. I just want to quickly say something, or pass across a few bits of information. The last set of students that I took in as mentorship students for this year, they're actually doing so amazingly, remarkably well. That I am so proud of them. Okay, I am actually so proud of them. And that is the only reason why I am going to be opening up the opportunity for those who want to have a one-on-one mentorship with me. Not a physical mentorship, by the way. Online one-on-one mentorship with me. The usual fee is $500, but based on the fact that I have seen how these guys have improved within the space of just 1 month. Currently, they even do all their analysis themselves. And I'm sure that one of them, or as many of them as I hear right now, they can testify to the fact that they even do the weekend, the market reviews themselves. I don't involve myself in it. All I have to do is come check their setups and tell them, okay, correct this, use this other block, or use this one. Okay, so their results have impressed me so much that I am going to be allowing just 5%. It's not a crowd, just 5%. As Mr. Roderick will confirm, currently the people that I took in the last set were way less than 10. I don't work with crowd. Okay, so I'm going to be opening up the slots for just 5 people. We already talked about gold. You can look at that on the Telegram, on the YouTube channel. So for 5 people who want to get access to premium mentorship from me, the usual fee is $500, but for this batch of students, I want to be able to train you for 1 month and show you off to the world as one of my best products ever, within 1 month. So I'm going to be opening up that window starting this week, If you have $100, you can sign up for that program right away, Just 5%. The slots are going to be opened just for this week. So even if it's just 1 person that comes on board during the week, that would be it. And I'm going to show you their results, 1 month from now. This is November 6th, which means that latest by 2nd week of December, you would already be seeing the results of these guys, It's not just talk, it's not cheap talk. It is something that I have done consistently over the past 5 years, So if you're interested, chat up any of the Telegram admins and get started right away. And I am looking forward to having you guys in my training sessions. It's just $100, which, by the way, is just so that I can have maybe some malt and milk to just refresh my bloodstream. So I want to say a big thank you to you guys for joining. It's been a fantastic one having you guys. It's been an absolute honor being the the coach or the captain of this ship. All right. So while we wait for all of these setups to play out during the week, I just want to wish you a fantastic trading week and all the best of luck. So till I come your way again next week, or maybe I decide to show my face one more time during the week. All right. Stay blessed. Have a fantastic trading week, and God bless you. Bye-bye.